This is Sunday, November 22nd, and this is the fifth session of our Sensing Sundays. I'm Stefan Langilliet. I will be leading the session today. Okay, so here is something wrote me a couple of days ago when I asked about requests. And she brought something up that I've had very closely on my mind since. She was wondering about the practical application in daily living, especially when things are not easy and difficult. How do I apply these special times, touching a wall, or with what is coming with a stick, to regular times filled with many needs and emotions? In what way might you share how to manifest the awareness special exercises allow in stressful daily life situations, so that the moment there is contacted with openness too? So yes, maybe if I hold a stick and balance it quietly in my own little room, that is relatively easy and delightful. But how do I balance the chaos of daily life when things don't go the way I want to? In my personal experience, this really prepares me for daily life, because I will remember to find that connection with the floor and to return to sensing, and to clearly distinguish between sensing and emotion. It doesn't mean the emotion goes away or the pain goes away, but it has some kind of a basis. So even if that mop on top of my stick is maybe wet and a bit smelly and unpleasant, I have some room beneath, or something beneath me, that I can go, quote unquote, back to and connect, and which helps me balance this unpleasantness. I would like to start with a couple of minutes of quiet, and I would ask you to, if you're lying, to come to sitting and then not lean against anything, so that you sit freely with your legs on the floor, unless you sit cross-legged or on the floor, that's fine too. And then I'd like you to go and get your stick, and taking your stick and holding it with both hands, that is only really the fingertips, and holding it in balance in front of you, and quite immediately really be there. Here, contact, and then there's this force of gravity. If I let it come out of balance on purpose and then allow it to come back in. And can I, in sitting, go with that swaying a bit out of balance in sitting and into more balance? And then I would like you to, okay, let's do it this way. Again, you pull it up a bit away from the floor. So it comes to hanging. And what effect that has through you, through your arms, shoulders, your structure, your skeletal structure. And of course the muscles and tendons having their part in not holding a stick, but being attached to the skeleton. So here also is the question, do you have to grip tightly, hold on to your bone, or how easy could it be? And then you let the stick come down to balancing on the floor. And let yourself come down to balancing on the chair. For many of us who live in the US, we have Thanksgiving coming up this coming Thursday, and we'll find ourselves at some point sitting at a table surrounded by relatives. And maybe there's a dad who is not well, or a sister who acts not the way she's supposed to, and so forth. And you probably won't have a broomstick or a mop in front of you, and that would look really weird, but you still have your sits bones and the chair under you, and you have this opportunity to detach for moments from whatever goes on in your mind about how things should or shouldn't be, to feel, oh yeah, here is this connection, this chair under me, here is gravity in my balancing on that chair. So would you again pull the stick up so it comes to hanging? Actually, before you do that, this time hold it in your full hands, not just with your fingertips, but you don't grip it. You still hold onto it gently, but with your full hands. And it will take a certain amount of muscle tone to hold on to it and to lift it up. And you will feel the pull of gravity, I assume, that it is being pulled down. So, and then I would like you to do, and I forget the Australian terminology for this. What did you say? Hold on for grim death. So I'd like you to get into that gradually, to hold on to it for grim death. And just notice what happens throughout you as you really hold on to it. Also feel what happens to the connection with gravity. Can you still feel the gravity? Can you still feel that it is pulled towards the earth? And then you let go slowly. And slowly. And letting go so that you don't drop it, but you come into a new connection where gravity appears again. And then you let it, following gravity, come to standing on the floor. So while I'm working with you here, I keep getting back to the Thanksgiving table and imagine all the conversations going on and people being themselves. And here am I, and there's the chair under me. And there's something I can rely upon that gives me balance, gives me support. And I'd like to, this is really an experiment now. And let's see how it goes, because I'm going to work with some imaginations. So if for a moment, whether you're sitting or standing, this time we don't have a broomstick we're balancing with, or any other simple thing like that, but let's say an unpleasant situation. And let's make it personal, with someone specific in your life, or some person you find difficult, or some specific situation that you find difficult. And here it is, in our heads, we might try to balance it, to fix it so it stays a certain way that we can handle it, but it does its own thing. So to the extent in which that is possible in this artificial situation, just give yourself, imagine that situation of unpleasantness and not being in control. Is it possible to open for that, let's call it imbalance in front of you? Knowing that you may not be able to fix it, and maybe that's not even your job. But here it is, and here are you very specifically standing, sitting. Is it possible to be open for what is not the way you want it? And at the same time, be on the floor, be connected. And I'm not saying it has to be possible. Is it possible to seeing something for what it is, not try to fix it, not try to analyze it, not try to change it? And not turn away from it. And at the same time have that connection to the ground, to breathing, that is, to the air that's also there. To remember that, okay, here is this very painful situation, but that's not all there is. There are many other things present too. There is the floor under me, there is the stick, or there's the air I breathe. There's so many things happening that are not this painful situation. And if we become aware of that spaciousness, then there's a space for the pain too, because there's a space for other things. And then let go of that image or that situation.